Hey there, everybody, how's it going? Nightshade here with IvD Gaming. Of course, check us out, ivdgaming.com. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm very, very happy to bring you another batch of replays. It's going to be a lot of fun because I've actually casted both of these players before, so anything goes. And so, first and foremost, let's introduce our player down in the bottom left-hand corner. Ladies and gentlemen, from Team Fnatic, it is HelloKitty. Now, I've actually casted HelloKitty quite a bit and quite extensively, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, check out Intense there. I'm not sure if this, believe this is accurate anymore for his Twitter feed, but anyway, I think he's streaming this game as well. But we caught the replay. But up in the top right-hand corner, ladies and gentlemen, no longer with Seed Gaming. Of course, he is one of our Terrans that we've picked up recently. Very, very happy to have him on board, ladies and gentlemen. From Team IvD Gaming, it is Intense. And of course, he is one of our premier Terrans. Very, very good player indeed. In fact, I learned a lot from watching his play. So he's pretty standard for the most part. Nothing too crazy out of the box. He plays a much different style than Rough, but he, again, is still very, very good. Very fast hands. And a lot of fun to watch. So he's going to throw down a Barracks. Of course, Supply Depot behind that. Looks like he's going to do a one gas. Oh, well, we'll see in just a second whether or not he takes a gas. That's the big question. Because if he throws down, okay, he's going to go with double Barracks opener. So 2 racks expand is possible. It's certainly something that he can do against a Protoss. I think it's a little bit optimistic, and it's going to be based upon whether or not he scouts his opponent and how much information he's able to obtain from that. Once he realizes, though, that it is double gas being taken here by his opponent, HelloKitty, he's going to realize that he's got to be a little bit more careful. He can't go expanding a little bit aggressively. So he's got to be, yeah, this is exactly what he's going to do. He's going to show up, he's going to see, oh, 2 workers on each gas, so he's checking on them to see, when they went down. Of course, he knows it was fairly early, but he's going to keep right on top of that. And HelloKitty is certainly aware of this fact, so he too is also making decisions based upon the fact that he has been scouted. Now, what this generally means out of this is he can either 1 gate expand off this, believe it or not, because there's 2 workers on the gas is the amount of gas he's going to require to get the Mothership Core as well as Warp Gate and even possibly a Stalker out. He's going to start with a Zealot because he is concerned that he's going to get eBay blocked down in the natural. And this is actually what is going to be the case. It looks like that HelloKitty does want to expand on out, does want to take that natural of his and take that expansion, because on the other side of the map, and we'll get to that in just a second. There is a Nexus. It is going to finally go down. But on the other side of the map, Intense has expanded himself, so he did do a 2 racks expand. And a very safe build. But this is only facilitated by the fact that he did get the scouting information. Now, had there been 3 workers on the gas each, this would have revealed to Intense that this is going to be a DT play, maybe a Blink play. Could also be a Stargate play, so you have to play a little more defensively. So you could expect fast oracles. But because he saw that it was only 2 workers on gas, he knows that he's not going to be getting too much of an all-in or anything too crazy. But also by keeping his presence there also means that if there's any transition to 3 workers on gas fairly early on, he's going to catch it in sufficient time to be able to make his decisions based off that. So kind of wondering that's how they make their... This is how the pros make their decisions on scouting. Now, Nexus is going to finish up in a couple of seconds' time. CC is going to finish up here in the base of Intense fairly quickly, I should add. I'm just going to move my microphone a little bit closer here just to clean up the audio a little bit. Now, Bunker is going to go down up front, and this is something a lot of Terran players actually kind of overlook, so getting a bunker up front is pretty good. Now, the only downfall of it is that it doesn't really take advantage of any of the ramp benefits by having close to the ramp. So, with this is the units can come up the ramp, see the bunker, and then get back out of dodge before getting any free shots on them. But it is great because it does support the bottom of the ramp for Intense's base. So the positioning is quite good. It also helps support any of the units that are within the mineral lines because they can quickly retreat on over towards the bunker to help on out. So you don't want it too far away, but you want it, well, close enough, so to speak. 3 barracks are going to be the unit producing structures of choice. You can see he is keeping the Marines close to the mineral lines in case that HelloKitty does want to switch gears and go on over to that Stargate play. Now, there is double gates. I stand corrected. 3 gates going down here, so it will be 4 gates coming out of him and there. And over on the right-hand side of his map, we do have Twilight Council going down as well. Now, he is researching Blink, so it is going to be a Blink play. 5 gates in total so far. They will get switched over once they get finished on up. Warp Gate is still in production. No, I stand corrected. Warp Gate is finished. 7 minutes into the game, fairly standard again. Maybe even a little bit late, if anything. But most importantly is it's getting out that mothership core and focusing on getting that production done. So that usually throws back Warp Gate by just a little bit because Gas as well as Chronos are usually occupied with that mothership core, an integral unit in the early game defense of Protoss. Now the Stalkers are going to move up into the high ground here and towards that proxy pylon that's been located up there. And we're going to expect to see 1 or 2 warping cycles here off of this to get all of the forces needed in order to be able to be as effective as humanly possible. Now up on the high ground there is very little defense here actually, save for the heavy dose of Marines and Marauders outside of the base here. So definitely Intense is ready for it. He's just got to determine where the attack angle is going to be. Now Stalkers are going to use the vision of the mothership core and blink up onto the high ground here. Some Marines are going to get popped here, and Time Warp is going to go down, but that's not going to benefit these units, and you can actually see how HelloKitty immediately takes advantage of that. Is going to pull his units on down, but workers have been pulled to help save the bunker here, try to keep things going, and for the moment Intense is in okay form. He does have forces on the low ground, he has forces on the high ground. He's going to try to hold this together here. But HelloKitty is pretty committed to this attack. He's got Charge being researched as well. Again, another Time Warp going down. And another one will be ready in just a couple of moments here. But the Marines and the Marauders are going to push on forward here. And oh my gosh, these Stalkers are just getting melted. Despite the fact that the Blink Micro here of HelloKitty. And they're not able to really seal the deal. So HelloKitty is going to have to back right on up. He's going to keep the Mothership Core forward just to see if there's any kind of counters here. But it looks like Intense is pretty much satisfied with what had happened. Came out ahead on those engagement. He is currently supply blocked, so doesn't really want to do anything too crazy, as he will not be able to reinforce anytime soon. So with that, he's going to sit back, kick back, relax, put his feet on up, and take it easy. And justifiably so, because right now he's going to have a hard time being able to push on forward. Now, a probe is going to head on around here. I like this location of this pylon. What's he planning on doing it? I'm not sure. We'll see where this goes in a second here. And, yeah, Marines and Marauders are going to take care of that proxy pylon. So HelloKitty's basically been shut down at this particular point in time, save for this pylon over here on the right-hand side of the map. But it's nowhere near as advantageous as the previous one. So we'll keep on top of that and just keep where the tabs are going with that. Zealots are going to start working away in the rocks. It looks like HelloKitty is going to expand out on towards the right-hand side. But he's going to have to contend with the fact that there's a ton of Marines and Marauders here. And I love how Intense really kind of chills out and takes it easy with that stem. He doesn't really want to use it unless he absolutely needs to. He doesn't have that medevac support, and he realizes that, oh crap, there's a lot of Zealots there, and I think he can tell also that they do have charge, so he's going to back right on up there. Intense has played a lot of games here, and quick blink forward here is going to get at least one of those Stalkers dead as nails, but you can see he can't overstim here. He's got to just stim once. He's going to back right on up. He's got reinforcements streaming on over. We do have medevacs now already overhead. He needs a handful more if they're going to be that much more effective here, because he can only heal so much at a time. They can't really do too many units all at once. And that's just an aside. If you're ever flying these guys overhead, use the afterburners on the medevacs when you're marching on forward. It allows them to get in a position to get a little bit more healing done, so you'll have better units with more health and a little bit pressure here. Guardian Shield's going to go down. Zealots are going to charge on forward here. But the kiting of Intense is, well, precisely that. Pretty freaking intense, and a lot of those Zealots are dead as nails. And you can see this big push as they're going to move on forward. They're going to realize that Photon Overcharge maybe not exactly what they want to engage on into, but this is going to slow down HelloKitty a great deal as far as his ability to expand, and the aggressiveness of Intense is just doing a fabulous job. You can see medevacs are healing like crazy, but now out of energy. Additional medevacs are going to be flying on over to provide some additional support. Likewise with the factory. If you guys are wondering what that's for, it is for high ground vision. And that's going to land it. This also screws up AI. And once AI attacks something, it's very hard for them to break off of that attack. So this will do all kinds of stuff. Keep it in the air, it screws with the Stalkers. Put it on the ground, screws with the Zealots. Still, Photon Overcharge is going to fire. It finally clears on up here, and its quick scan of the high ground is going to show that there is some High Templar in here. Storm is available. So now, if anything, he's got to be unbelievably careful, because Intense can lose this military very, very easily. He's actually going to use that. Oh my gosh. He is going to use that factory, I think, just to try and screw up the AI of the Zealots, and indeed he's going to do. Storm does go down, and it is going to get eaten by some of those Marauders, but they are still alive. And Medevacs are going to take care of that. Photon Overcharge is going to go down the second time here, and it's just going to back up that factory just a little bit, but it is still being attacked, as for some absurd reason it is still within the range here of that Nexus. This is clearly kind of screwed up. There is a drop play going on here, double-pronged attack here, as forces on the low ground as well as on the high ground are going to try to get some damage done. Going to use that advantageous top of the ramp position here. And storms are going to go down here, and also feedbacks as well onto those medevacs, and that is not the engagement, though, that Intense was looking for. He does have reinforcements back here. 2 of those medevacs did survive, so they will still be of some use, and he's still going to push out across the map. He does have a good force. He's just not getting quite the engagement he's looking for. +2 is about to finish up here for the Protoss player, as well as +2 armor. Taking a look at Intense's upgrades, he's basically stuck off the basic the Tech Lab stuff, which is stim combat shields and concussive shells. Now there is a small force here that are going to try to bait out a storm, but not able to do that just quite yet. Storm's not available just quite yet. Time Warp's going to go down here, and the charge lots are going to just start ripping away on those. There's an awful lot of charge lot here. I don't know how Intense is going to be able to come out ahead on this particular engagement. He is kiting as much as he can, using the afterburner on the medevacs, is keeping them going as well. Another storm does go down off of one of those High Templars. Another one should have it available fairly soon. Now it is available, yes. So HelloKitty able to really successfully hold on to this third base, not losing it at all, and this is going to be a huge problem. There is a drop flying on out. In fact, actually, it's going to be double drop action here. So Intense is just trying to keep the pressure on his opponent, and as you can see, most of the action on the other side of the map here. So brilliant play all in all by both players. HelloKitty ready to intercept as well. He's got a High Templar here with the feedback available, so if it does come on over, he's going to be able to catch one of those medevacs as they fly on in here. The Zealots are going to take care of the units as they fall on out of those medevacs here. The other drop is been unloaded outside. They're going to stim their way on down towards that third base. Meanwhile, the main drop up into the base of HelloKitty is going to get engaged by the forces of HelloKitty. The Zealots are charging on for it here, but not able to really seal the deal, as it is going to pick up and fly on out. Meanwhile, that third base is going to fall. I guess you could say the diversion tactics have been employed and were successful here. Some charge lots are going to get melted here, but a Colossus has also spawned in the wrong location at absolutely the wrong time. It is going to get microed a little bit, but it is not going to be enough. Marauders are quite good at taking care of them, and that is going to do it. Now we do see that drop is going to return on over towards the left-hand side of the map here. Sufficient resources are inside those medevacs to be able to continue to do some damage. Storm is going to go down on those as well. Meanwhile, that other drop is going to get picked on up over on the right-hand side, unloaded, because the forces of HelloKitty have arrived here. But this is also going to continue to be nothing but a nightmare for HelloKitty, as Intense is looking absolutely fantastic. But it is going to get repelled. HelloKitty is going to hold, and army supplies aren't that far apart. It's only about 30 army supply, which can be made up very quickly by HelloKitty with 1 or 2 Colossus and a handful of gateway units. But the biggest thing is the economy has been interrupted so well, and HelloKitty is now long distance mining off his third base. I should point out, though, that Intense is only on 2 bases, and he is going to have the fight of his life, as these Zealots are just doing such a great job. Storms are going to bracket out these Marines and Marauders and the medevacs as well, again trying to keep them back, but Intense is doing a great job not absorbing many of those blows, and he's now going to have to contend with the fact that there's a lot of pissed off and angry Zealots here trying to close the gap as well, and they are doing a lot of damage. That is going to force a pickup, and Intense is going to have to continue to back on up. Again, trading as well as he can, but not able to really shut down HelloKitty, as HelloKitty's upgrades are just getting absolutely fantastic. 2-3 upgrades currently completed. Now, +2 is on the way here for Intense, but it is a good ways out. +1 has finished, so massive upgrade advantage here for HelloKitty. He's been right on top of his tech. He now has Colossus out. He has Archons already out. He's been at High Templar and Storms for quite some time, so HelloKitty looking very strong, but Intense has been nothing but the aggressor the entire game, and is going to continue on just working away on HelloKitty. He's now pulled SCVs to absorb the first rally of shots here, and also to screw up with the with the AI. And we can actually watch as the Photon Overcharge is going to go down. The workers have been pulled also for HelloKitty. You can see Colossus are continuing to work away here And a little bit of stutter stepping is trying to keep these units alive here, but is actually being surrounded from both sides. Workers have been pulled off the natural as well to try and hold against this, but just so many units and such good control out of Intense is keeping them all alive. And you can see the forces of HelloKitty have been all but practically been destroyed. But I need to point out that, in fact, actually, he's ahead, or at least he was ahead for a short period of time there in his army supply, 55 to 67. He's still ahead in worker count, 51 to 40. So he has been able to hold, certainly maybe not as aggressively as he would like to, but that drop is going to go down up and in the mainland, up in the main base, and that Colossus is barely able to get on out of there. But the forces of HelloKitty are going to work their way up the ramp and start working away on Intense's medevac drop. But a lot of them are going to get picked on up and flown out of there. Just a small force is left behind to absorb the blows, and then at the very least the units can get on out. Meanwhile, a small force is going to work its way onto this third base Nexus. If they could shut this down, it would be absolutely fantastic for Intense and a detriment towards HelloKitty's economy. And it is going to do that. They're all going to die, but not without having succeeded in their mission. And again, Intense with nothing but pure unadulterated aggression here is what's keeping him in this game, as HelloKitty has just been macroing absolutely fantastically. He's been on 3 bases for so much longer than his opponent, but Intense is going to pick on up and fly on out of here. Again, not able to really contend against these Colossus and Zealot army of HelloKitty. So, oh my gosh. This is exhausting work, guys. You got to slow down for a couple of minutes. Come on, give the caster a break. But a scan is going to go down, revealing exactly what's going on. And again, a big push on forward. We can expect to see some storms fairly soon here from the High Templar. Stand corrected, there is no storms available. They are going to morph into Archons, and of course the storm goes down right after I say that. But the Zealots are getting caught out of position here, and they are going to get destroyed here. And this is exactly what Intense absolutely needed here. And it is just a batch of Archons, some Stalkers, and the Colossus here remaining here. But good splits here, trying to keep everything separated here. The Archons do get a great bonus in splash damage as well with their 2-3 upgrades here, but not able to get any more done. There's no 3-3 upgrades. These Marauders have 2-1 upgrades as well, so slight advantage again still in the favor of from HelloKitty, but Intense has been macroing exceedingly well and is finally up on his third base. As we can take a look really quickly, he's going to call down an absolute metric ton of mules, literally, and they're just going to continue to go to work as we do watch his economy skyrocket up into the 1,200, 1,400, and almost 1,600, 1,800 minerals a minute for our Terran player. But this Protoss player of HelloKitty is just going to town and just able to defend, and able to hold every single time. And now starting to get whittled down here as the army supply is now starting to favor Intense, 62 to 39. And again, poking and prodding to see if he can kill off one of these Archons, focusing it down as much as he can, taking care of one of the High Templar. The other 2 High Templar are going to merge into the form of an Archon and get to push up the ramp here as well. And you can see, actually, as he's continuing to kite here, the charge lots are going to chase on all of these units here. And but Intense still has that army supply lead, 63 to 45. But a lot of it is in medevac form right now, so he doesn't have a lot of DPS. You can see he's got he's got about 8 medevac in the sky, so that's going to eat up a lot of supply. And so all in all, as far as fighting forces go, there's only just slightly more than 12 12 Marines. I think it's like what is it, 13 Marines there, and there's about 8 Marauders in total, 7 Marauders, so not a lot of actual offensive units. Again, I'm actually a little surprised also. HelloKitty with this forward pylon over the right-hand side that has not, well, it has been scouted here, but he's not used it for any kind of warpins. Now, there is workers heading on over. I stand corrected. They're turning around instantly once they see those medevacs, and like that is enough. Medevacs are going to unload their cargo. Get ready for another big push because he's stimming a bunch to lead the way. Maybe absorb some storms, but is going to take care of a lot of those workers. They're going to die very quickly here, as HelloKitty is going to try to engage with the Colossus, but realizing, you know what, no, I'm going to need to back up just a little bit, reinforce with his units, and a good choice all in all. He's got a great army composition and good size to it as well, but unfortunately, he's just not able to really catch on up because of these kinds of engagements where there's a small force off to the right-hand side. 2 medevacs worth is going to pull a lot of Zealots out of the way. On the other side of the map, there is this force of Marines and Marauders. So this 2-pronged attack of Intense has been precisely that for HelloKitty. It has been absolutely intense, non-stop, unrelenting, wave after wave of drop after drop, and now finally HelloKitty is starting to claw his way back into it. It's now 97 to 85. He's still ahead in a worker count, 45 to 40. Oh my gosh, my mouth is exhausted here. And workers are going to work, as we can see here. And mules are what's keeping Intense's economy in play. Well, it looks like he's also long-distance mining as he's transitioning on over an orbital command towards a 4th base location on the left-hand side of his natural. But these Marines and Marauders, again, trying to keep HelloKitty in check, not allowing him to get an economy over here on his 4th base either. So he's been doing a great job playing that on out. He might want to look at taking down those rock towers, but not enough. And you can see a blink on forward to try and see if he can engage these Marines and Marauders. But they're going to poke on back. You blink forward, I'll take care of you. He knows how to shut down those stalkers. But there is no counter drops. There's nothing here. It's 112 army supply in the favor of our Terran player here versus 105. So you can see HelloKitty is clawing himself way back into this game. 2-2, or is it still 2-1? No, it's only 2-1 upgrades here for this Terran player of ours. So, and as another engagement goes down, things are looking a little bit dicey, a little bit scary here for Intense. He needs the engagement of a lifetime here as HelloKitty is pushing on forward, recognizing he does have that advantage he needs. And but there is a force here coming in from behind, bracketing out these units and starting to work away onto the Colossus here. However, Ghosts are in the mix, getting the EMPs down as well, softening up a lot of these units. If you can get another couple of money EMPs down on these Zealots, he'll be in absolutely great form indeed. But there are so many Archons in here, and Intense is going to have to back up onto the ramp to try and bait out a little bit of time to let the medevacs do some healing. He does have a good number of Vikings, but they're now essentially useless because there's no Colossus here. So he should land those fairly soon. EMPs are going to go down as well as in a stim, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. And you can see the Zealots are going to work their way on around these units, starting to clean them up, and Intense is in a lot of trouble here. But he is going to GG. HelloKitty will take the victory. Very unfortunate for our IvD friend Intense. So guys and girls, check out Intense, IvDgaming.tv, and also big shoutouts to our sponsors. Check them out, MSI, CM Storm, and Natverk Technic. My name is Nightshade for IvD Gaming. Check me out, IvDgaming.com.